Hi guys, and welcome to Locally Owned and Locally Grown with Progressive. Today we're at Tremont Coffee here in downtown Massillon, sitting down with Mark and Michelle, and the owners and operators. And obviously we appreciate your time coming here because you've got multiple places to be. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
But first and foremost, tell us the story of Tremont. Can you do that?
Story of Tremont. You want to do that or you want me to do that?
Go ahead and start. I'll just jump in when I want to.
Thank you for coming.
How it works.
Wonderful to have both
It's
of
our
you
pleasure.
here.
It's
Yeah.
so cool
Thank
here.
you.
We just want to stay here all day.
Yeah. Tremont Coffee was started about 6 years ago now. Michelle and I both have a true passion and a love for coffee. We've had some businesses in the past, lawn care, like the typical small business things everybody tries to do to make money on the side. None of those things ever really worked out. I think we learned a lot from those failures in the past. I say failure loosely, but
Learning
experiences, exactly.
Right.
Exactly right. One thing I think I did realize, though, quite honestly, was that I always had these grand ideas for small businesses, and they were my ideas, not necessarily my wife's dream, right? I don't think Michelle ever wanted to do lawn care.
No.
And
You didn't want to go out there and rake leaves? That's weird.
It wasn't my thing.
While I was trying to convince her how awesome these different businesses were, she didn't really quite believe it.
Right.
And I can't quite blame her. So, but my point was, what I realized is when I found something that we both cared about, it was easy for both of us to put energy.
And that was coffee.
It was coffee.
That's awesome.
Exactly. So every business that we ever hatched on a napkin was done in a coffee shop, and that's the honest to God truth. Every coffee shop,
even this one, even this idea.
I love that though.
So we were going to get into real estate. Michelle was going to be a real estate agent. She was going to school. She comes home and says, I don't like it. I don't want to do this.
Sure.
And I said, well, why the hell aren't we doing coffee?
Right.
Like we got to make a decision. We're going to do this or not. And we just pulled the trigger and started doing it. So
and then it's just kind of
snowballed from there.
Been a whirlwind, huh?
Yeah.
So when you started Tremont, when?
2016 is when we were kicking around the idea. The official go to the state of Ohio and get a license was in November of 16.
Wow. Okay.
So
our first event was Valentine's Day. Well, close to. Downtown Canton had it. Yeah, exactly.
Let's take this big risk.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, downtown Canton had a big thing.
You're gonna work really hard.
You're gonna work really hard. You're gonna feel really good. You're gonna feel really good. Well, that's amazing, though. And so, but you knew you wanted to do it together.
Yes.
You knew that was something. And I know my parents have run a business together for 30 years.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It is difficult.
I am sure. And so, like, what roles do you play in the business?
So I pretty much run the stores, as in behind the bar, training, managing, setting everybody up at that point.
Yeah, all the scheduling, payroll, all of that kind of stuff.
All the stuff I had no idea I'd ever do. Now I'm doing it.
Got it.
Very quickly I had to learn, but it's going well.
I think I'm kind of the big idea person.
Gotcha.
Like the new drink idea. What are we doing for Valentine's Day?
The guy with
all the designs, all the logos, all of the things you see on packaging. I do all of that.
And both of those are very important.
Yeah.
And that's like, sounds like you guys are a really good team for that then.
Yeah, we serve different roles.
We're trying that.
Well, I mean, obviously
we do. It merges well, but
and that's what everywhere we go, people will talk about Tremont. They really do.
Thank you.
And so, like,
which
we
is honestly
that
that just blows my mind because I still see it as this small thing that like, hey, we just want to sell a cup of coffee.
Right.
So
you're selling several.
If I go to Home Depot and I see somebody wearing my hat, and I'm standing next to them in line, like it just blows my mind.
That is really cool.
And they have no idea who I am, and I'm like, so like that, it just like it puts a smile on my face, and I kind of blush almost when I see it. I know it sounds weird, but it's true.
You guys now have 3 locations, right?
Yeah.
So how did each one of those was it just like the hope that you hope you had 3 locations, or you just thought one's good?
We started with a stand that literally my daughter and I could stand beside each other and serve coffee.
And she was what, 12? 8? No, she was 8 when we first started, wasn't she?
No.
Pretty young. She was very young.
Yeah.
It's 10-ish.
Okay, there we
go. Anyway, so we're standing beside this small little counter thing. We did a couple little shows, like almost like farmers markets type scenarios. Did that. Went to a tent, a 10 by 10 tent.
Uh-huh.
We're doing farmers markets. Got a little bit bigger, like, man, this loading this thing up every other day just doesn't work. So we got a trailer, and we went from the trailer to like, we're going to do a trailer and a tent. And then that's when we realized that we have enough of a following. Let's open up a brick and mortar store. We knew we always wanted to come to Massillon. I'm from Massillon. Okay. Michelle, I don't tell anybody from Massillon is from Canton.
Oh my gosh.
I try to keep that low key.
Don't tell me or something.
Yeah.
It's like
I gotta look over my shoulder. We're in the heart of it's the heart of Tiger Town. I gotta be careful here.
I think for a whole year at the first store, we didn't tell anybody where I was from.
True.
I understand.
So anyway,
just keep that to yourself. We're gonna share this everywhere now.
So we honestly
secrets out.
Like we were like we have enough people now following us around. We have enough social media following that we're not afraid to open this. I mean, I say I'm not afraid. Like we were willing to pull the trigger.
I think there's always going to be fear in that.
Oh my God!
But like that's just normal.
So we built out many people know or don't know that we had a very small location right down the street from where we're at now, right next to Art Bomb Tattoo. Okay. The location that we were in is the size of our kitchen now. Like, that was the entire place. Wow. So, but when you're just starting out, how are you going to run this thing by yourself? I'm still working full time. Michelle's going to, how are we going to do this? Right. How are you going to come up with the money to do this? Yeah. What are licensing? All of that stuff, you have no idea really about a real business. Yeah. It's one thing to do stuff.
And you're learning it as you go.
And you're on your phone. Yeah. Yeah. So you're trying to do not only make the drinks, but run a business.
I just think that takes a lot of the word gumption is the word that I would say. Yeah. Because it's like we go out here, we interview these people and we see these people that are starting something from nothing. And I'm always very impressed because I'm like, I'm just sweating just thinking about it,
Well, I am, while we've turned what I think most people would say is a successful business. Yes. The reality is when we started this business, we couldn't make our house payment. Right. And I want people to realize that what you go through starting a business. Yes.
Well, you have to bet on yourself.
You do. You
have to be willing. Yes. It's almost to live your wildest dream, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And in order for you to do that, it takes a very unique person to bet on themselves and say, I'm all in. Yeah. So, and then for your marriage to continue through that too.
Well,
that's all another thing.
Yeah. A whole other game.
So I'm proud of you, and I just feel,
Thank
you. So that's amazing.
To have two people that have a shared vision, willing to see it through, despite how hard it is, despite the chaos, the stress, all of the what ifs and first employee, the first tax bill, the first. You know what I mean?
All of it, and go, ooh.
First time you sign a lease, and I'm crying 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
And that's crying in fear, not excitement. That was fear.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree.
But it worked. It did work. And here you are, years later, just living the dream. But you put in the work, you put in the time. Right. Now you have these 3 locations, and it's my understanding that there's more coming, right? There's good, exciting news down the way.
We have a location that's already been plotted. There's already blueprints. We're already through all of that. The planning with the county and all that stuff has been approved for all of it. It's just deciding when we feel comfortable that we can manage and grow it. It's one thing, we could probably just keep plotting out stores right now and do it, right? Yeah. We have enough backing financially and all that stuff. We could make that happen, but does it make sense? Right. Where is the best spot for the location? And then the other part for us too is I think our next true growth path is franchising. Right. But I'm not willing to franchise until I feel that I can provide whoever is going to franchise from me the right information, how to do it, the system to do it. Yeah. When I'm comfortable that I can do that, then we'll franchise.
And I think that's responsible, for you to say, here, I'm gonna you want to set everyone up for success in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the possibilities are really endless for you if you play your cards right, and it seems like you are. So I think that's really awesome and really cool. But also, I always like to point out too, because this is where you started. What has Massillon been to you personally? What has this community been to you?
Well, I guess first we can say, if you start from the name Tremont, the reason it's called Tremont is because both of my grandparents lived on Tremont Avenue. Oh. So my dad lived down here by St. Timothy's and up over the viaduct.
He's such a sweet.
So if you go back to the beginning of what Tremont was started for, and this is no fluff, it's just reality. All of those other businesses that we tried to start, I would spend months coming up, what's the perfect name? Why are we doing this? how are people going to see this? And like, we have to do it because of the name or whatever.
Right.
I kid you not when I say, like, we're going to start a coffee shop. In 30 seconds, I knew what the name was.
Yeah.
I Googled
You already
Tremont,
knew.
and I knew
It was
it was that
available.
easy for us.
That's awesome.
And it's the first time.
And everything
that-
was clicking.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, everything just plugged in perfectly.
But I
Yes.
think it took all those other, 5, 10, 15 experiences
Right.
to get you to where you're like, you have to do this, now you have to do that, you have to do this. This didn't work before, let's do this. And to realize when things are clicking,
Right.
because you don't know when
And
they're
rolling.
not.
And rolling.
Right.
But it feels different when they
yes,
are.
Yes.
Right?
No, I think that's awesome. And like, there's really something to be said about that. So like, Maslin means so much to you.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
you.
Well, it does, but
Even though.
No, it
in different
really does.
ways. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just kidding. We'll allow you to be here.
Well, so, roll back 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, when we were considering doing some kind of business in Maslin.
Yeah.
Maslin didn't look like what it does now.
Right.
Right.
It was a lot of empty storefronts.
Mhm.
It was a lot of what most of America looks like, the dead, dying
Yeah.
storefronts of downtown. This is Steel Town.
Yep.
My parents, between Hoover's and Timkins, Perry Rubber, all that, that's where our families work.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's what Maslin was known for. We have a football team.
Yeah.
So it's been a long road for all of the past city council to try to start making changes to this
Right.
town and
Yeah.
make it make sense. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that we've been a part of that
Absolutely.
to give Maslin a different
Yeah.
feel than what it used to be.
I would agree. And it's like, even coming down here and like, it feels vibrant. And we
Does,
both
yeah.
talk because we weren't from here,
Okay.
and just like you.
Just
And
like
I'm just
Were you from my end of the town too?
here. I grew up in Southern Ohio, and when I moved
Okay.
here 12 years ago. I started working at Progressive, and the next thing you know, I'd be down here, and I'm like, man, Maslin's weird. I'm not sure if I feel safe here.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
And then over the last 10 years, like
Yeah.
you're saying, truly, like I want to hang out down here.
Yeah.
I want to come down here.
Right.
I want to come down here and have a cup of
a
coffee.
lot
and
of
go
great
to the record
things.
store and then
Yeah.
go get a sandwich
Yep.
somewhere. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like you want to be where it's all happening.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
And so, like,
you can start feeling a sense of things are happening.
Yeah.
I'm
it's becoming vibrant.
obviously
Mhm.
disappointed with
Yeah.
what's happening
Right.
with some buildings downtown, but I'm very hopeful that
Right.
we're going to do something. Or not say we, but I mean,
You're not personally going to go out there and
Us,
stand in front of a wrecking
as
ball.
a whole, are going to see something happen with that
Absolutely.
spot. So
Yeah.
Sure. Well, hey, there is no denying that you have had a hand in that, and you've made it into a more wonderful place to live, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I always ask, what are you most proud of? And I'll ask Michelle because
But I haven't killed him yet. No,
fair
sorry.
answer.
Good
answer. Good answer.
No,
I'd want to kill me.
gosh, I don't know. I don't even know, honestly. It all goes by so fast.
Yeah.
It's such just, you start it one day and then boom, you're like, wow, how did I get here at
Right.
this point? And even though you work so hard day to day, that's a lot for me to think of at
I-
this
Well,
moment.
you're going to go home and think about it.
I know,
tonight, and
no,
then you're
hey,
gonna text
listen,
me,
this is what it was. Can you dub this in there?
and that's okay.
What you're
It's just
describing, though, is that you're so wrapped up in day-to-day things.
Right, that it's,
Every fire that you're trying to put out and
Yeah.
anticipate, that you don't have time to step back and really say, like, wow, what have we done?
and
Yeah.
appreciate
It's
yourself.
rare.
very,
It's really rare that we do
very,
that.
yeah.
Well, I hope that you do, and I
Yeah.
hope that even though you can't give me that answer right now, I hope when you leave here, though, that
Yeah.
you really do
It's there.
think about that,
Well-
because it takes amazing people to do amazing things,
Yeah.
and it
Thank you.
does. I'm not like
I don't know if I see
Maria
myself
knows. I
as-
tell everybody this because it's like I see these people, and there's there's so much gumption, so much effort, so much hard work, and so much blood, sweat, tear, money
Mhm.
that you dump into creating your passion and
Yeah.
to share it.
I just saw one of our employees walk by, and I think between making an impact in Maslin, honestly, that was a huge thing to me. So
Sure.
what legacy can I do for this city that
Right.
is like my foundation? So seeing an employee walk by and there's
Oh, love this man. Love this man. Michelle wants to kill him sometimes. But
Sometimes, not all the time. Not all the time.
No, it's important to you, right?
It is. It's very important. To
Yes.
us.
And you
It
can
is.
see you're proud to employ and you're proud
Right.
to serve. And I think there's really something to be said about that. And like,
Yeah.
you're moving my heart.
Oh,
You're moving my heart. Oh my gosh. This is why we love doing this. It's like,
doing it together makes a big thing too.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that he's not out just running a business himself, not just something that Mark had thought of and only he enjoys type thing. It definitely, the two of us building all this together is, and I am proud that we've lasted through it. It's not easy sometimes, but yeah.
And how long have you been married?
It'll be 20 years this year.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Another
February will be 20 years.
We've
And we've been together, since 98.
yeah.
Wow.
But we've
That's
known
amazing.
each other since we were 12.
We did know each other when we were young.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Even though she went to McKinley,
Yes,
you're like,
yes.
I guess I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
No,
Opposites
you've got
attract,
to let
I
her
guess.
know.
I don't know.
He lived in Massillon, but he didn't go to Massillon. He did not really go there to school. Mark
it's okay.
graduated from Perry,
I
so
can-
he can't give me
We'll
all the
allow
grief.
it.
I
You're on a
understand why.
borderline.
I'm such an emotional person. Ever since we had our daughter,
Oh,
I watch a
yeah.
commercial and I cry. It's
That's
so
okay.
weird.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
watching you cry. I was like, hold it together.
Well,
baby.
I saw Benji walk by, and not that Benji make me tear up. He's a cool dude, but the idea that I stop and really think about what maybe that's why I don't think about what we've created, because
Right.
I am so emotional about it. But we have 40 some employees now.
Yeah.
To think about the payroll that we have and then what we're able to do, and I think we pay pretty well. We're not, I'm not here to make people minimum wage
Right.
employees. I
Taking
want
care of your
impact in people's lives. I want to see them grow. I want to see that if they leave here, this is a stepping stone that puts them somewhere else in their life. I mean, that's what's important
Because
to
it's
me.
just, you're doing more than just coffee.
To me, it is.
You are.
It is.
You're doing more
Absolutely.
than just
Yeah.
coffee.
Yep.
So that's a huge testament to the business and the business owners and your employees too, So you've got these 3 stores, you've got plans on the horizon. There's a lot of things moving for you. I guess what I would ask, is there anything that you want anyone who's watching this to know about Tremont, or services that you offer, or where they could contact you before we wrap it all up?
I'll let Michelle do that.
Well, to contact us is our website, tremontcoffee.com. That's honestly the easiest way if anybody was wanting to attempt to contact Mark and I.
Yeah.
Calling the stores, it'll get lost in
A
everything.
post-it note.
A post-it note will end up on the bottom of someone's shoe. We'll
Or a
never
cup of
see it.
coffee that leaves the door.
Facebook, Instagram, we always, anything special we're doing or exciting, definitely post it on there.
Okay, and we know
Yeah.
we're at the Massillon downtown location.
Yeah.
So where's your other
right now.
location?
So the other location, we have one in Perry Township, across street from Central Catholic, out on West Tusk, and North Canton, on 5th and Main.
You got it. All right, guys. What about you, Mark? Anything else you want to add?
No, I probably said enough.
Oh, and we're here. It was such a pleasure getting to know you guys and getting to learn about your business and getting to be here. Thank you so much for welcoming us in here.
I'm very grateful that you guys would even consider this.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's our pleasure. And, in the future, we just hope you continue to grow and continue to live your wildest dreams.
Thank
That's what
Thank
my hope
you.
is for you.
Thank you.
We appreciate
You didn't
that.
say what you hope for me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So
And I hope, what is your dream, hon? Where are you going with this? What's happening?
you're here spotlighting. Also,
Can I get a job? No, I'm just kidding.
you're also
It looks really
spotlighting.
fun here. I'd like to be here.
We're spotlighting Progressive also, who is a staple of
This
of
is
Massillon.
true.
So
Absolutely.
tell us
Definitely.
about Progressive.
Oh, people already know all about us.
That's not
People
true.
know all about us.
That's
But
not
no, I kid. Well, here, we really do appreciate everything that you guys have, given us in terms of entertainment, number 1, and number 2. Your passion is amazing. So thank you
you.
for that. But
Thanks.
other than that, guys, this is locally owned and locally grown.